What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Rogers from Rockin' Waves 11294, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm Double B, Billy Blue Drop. And I have a topic that I feel merits discussion with you guys. So I want you to keep an open mind as to what I'm going to be talking about here. And the subject is about Chris Benoit. And a lot of people feel that, if you mention his name in professional wrestling, then it's kind of a taboo. It's kind of something you're not supposed to talk about, something you're not supposed to, say to anybody in the wrestling business, whether you're a worker or a fan or, a YouTuber like me, / commentator / gameplay guy / all around cool dude. It's something that we shouldn't, talk about. But I don't feel that way. Now, I will say this about Chris Benoit. Yes, the circumstances leading into his death and the death of his wife and his son was indeed a very, very tragic situation, a very tragic thing to occur for anybody, not just a guy like Chris Benoit. For that to happen to anybody, it is indeed a tragic misfortune for something like that to happen. And but what I feel is I don't think that Chris Benoit's name should be marred because of the circumstances leading to his death. And to me, I'm kind of a little bit of outraged about the fact that WWE doesn't want to be associated with that name at all, period. And yes, I can understand why they don't want to have a name, who's done something, incredibly tragic, like with Chris Benoit's situation. But what we should look at, really, is Chris Benoit's life. And I can say right now, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is no one who more deservingly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame than Chris Benoit. I mean, there is nobody who can tell me without a shadow of a doubt, just because, if we look solely based on his wrestling career, nothing to do with what happened with the circumstances leading to his death. Nothing to do with that. We're strictly talking about his life and his wrestling career, strictly his wrestling career that I followed in the WCW and the WWE. I never really got the opportunity to follow him as the wind is blowing quite much outside today. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and put the old speckers on. You guys are not used to seeing me with my speckers. Yeah, that's what I call them. Anyway, no, that's not what I call them. Anyway, we should really follow his career. And, if we want to put somebody into a wrestling Hall of Fame, we should be doing it based on the merits of his wrestling career, his wrestling performance. And sadly, with the circumstances being what they were leading to Chris Benoit's death, his name will never be put in any kind of a Hall of Fame. And again, it is such a huge tragedy because look at Chris Benoit and look what the kind of career he's had, especially not only in WCW but in the WWE. He's a former World Heavyweight Champion. He's got so many classic great matches. I mean, who can forget WrestleMania 20 when he had that triple threat match with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and himself for the World Heavyweight Championship? That match was a classic. And Chris Benoit had a huge run in WCW. He was like one of the last members of the Four Horsemen. And he had a phenomenal run with them. He also had a great rivalry. Think back to the rivalry the Four Horsemen had with the Dungeon of Doom in WCW. And in particular, the feud that happened between Chris Benoit and the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. And one of my all-time favorite matches, I believe, yeah, it happened at a Clash of the Champions. Pardon me one sec. Swig of Sprite. Anyway, one of my all-time favorite matches that happened between these two, it was a Falls Count Anywhere match between Sullivan and Benoit, and at one point the match ended up in the bathroom. I think, well, I'm going to have to go back and look on the DVD, because I do have the Chris Benoit Hard Knocks DVD. It's a phenomenal DVD, by the way. It really is. It's a wonderful DVD. And, you know, that match is on there, and I can't remember if one of them got a swirly. I don't want to make light of that, but I think something like that might have happened in the match. I can't say for sure unless I go back and look at it. But, yeah, Chris Benoit's had so many, like I said, great rivalries, great feuds in the WWE. And when it comes to, you know, going both ways, you know, pulling a face or pulling a heel gimmick, Chris Benoit can pull it off beautifully. You know, he just had that air about him, that ability to get the crowd to either cheer and love the hell out of him, and he also had that ability to make the crowd just want to stomp his guts out. You know, make the crowd hate him. And, you know, nowadays we don't see those kind of guys who have that ability to play it both ways. You know, to play a face beautifully and perform beautifully as a face and perform beautifully as a heel, you know, to get the crowd to hate him to that point. And Benoit was one of those few guys who can actually pull that off. And like I said, I said this on a comment on one of the videos. They have a video of Benoit's Titantron with the band Our Lady Peace when they did the song Whatever. And Chris Benoit always had the creepiest smile. If you guys watch that Titantron, and you see Chris Benoit with that grin, and let's just say it would scare the piss out of a vampire. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what. But when you look at it, and when I say that, you know that Benoit has that ability to bring that kind of air about him, that kind of intensity into his career. But I believe firmly in my heart, if we were to make our own Hall of Fame here, guys, if we were to make our own Hall of Fame just based on people's wrestling careers, not anything to do with their personal life or any other circumstances, you know, beyond the wrestling ring, beyond like circumstances in his personal life. If we were to make a wrestling Hall of Fame just based on their career and the kind of performances they've had in their career, the first name I would put in would be Chris Benoit. The man deserves it, no matter what circumstances that led to the death of himself and his wife and his kids. Because I'm not making light of it. I don't want people to come on this video and watch it and start making these comments that, you know, that I'm not saying I'm not saying anything about, you know, you're making fun of, you're making light of the fact that Benoit and his family and the way they died. And no, I'm not doing that. That's not what the purpose of this video is. You know, the purpose of this video is to not look at Benoit's death. It's to look at his life. And, you know, that's what everybody should do when you see anything to do with Chris Benoit here on YouTube, is to look at his life. not his death, but his life. And I believe if we look just solely based on his life and everything that he accomplished and everything that he's done in his career, Chris Benoit deserves to be, and if I had the opportunity, in the WWE Hall of Fame. The man deserves it. He's had, in my opinion, a deservingly Hall of Fame career. But sadly, people today, especially in the WWE, you know, they're all about appearances. They're all about appearances and what kind of, you know, person they put in their Hall of Fame. And if they put a guy like Benoit in their Hall of Fame, they would say, "Oh, you're putting a murderer in your Hall of Fame." Yeah, we got the guys are playing out here right now. That's what you guys are hearing. But like I said, I hope you guys have been able to bear with me on this video. It was something that, you know, that I wanted to talk about, something that I felt that needed to be discussed, you know, and it was just something I felt that I needed to say on here, something that needed to be talked about on here, something that needed, you know, to, you know, worth discussing. I would really like, I hope you guys, like I said, I hope you guys like take what I had, you know, and what I said in this video into consideration, and you know, you guys have heard, you know, my end of things, you know, my side of the story, you know, and the way I feel about the Chris Benoit situation and everything that happened. You know, you guys heard what I had to say, and what I want to hear is what you guys have to say. You know, your thoughts on the whole Chris Benoit situation, and, you know, do you guys feel that if we look just solely based on his life, not his death, but his life, and everything that he accomplished as a professional wrestler, do you guys feel that Chris Benoit deserves to be in Hall of Fame? And I'm going to tell you guys right now, you know, my answer is a solid yes. Is a solid yes. It does not, to me, the circumstances to his death should not come into question. But that's the way WWE likes to play it. Like I've said already, WWE is all about appearances. You know, and they don't want to have their name associated with somebody like Benoit, who they feel, you know, what a circumstance that wasn't in professional wrestling, that was outside, that was in his personal life, that he'll never get mentioned again, and he'll never be put in the Hall of Fame. And to me, that's wrong. That's wrong. If you want to put people in the Hall of Fame, we should based on their professional wrestling career. So my answer is a solid yes, and I want to hear some of your guys' thoughts on the Chris Benoit situation. And again, my question to you guys is, if we, again, don't look at his death, look at his life. If we only look at his life and his career as a professional wrestler, do you guys feel that Chris Benoit deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? And again, you guys already know my answer is a solid yes. And so my question is, do you guys feel the same way? Put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video, and don't forget, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. So until then, I'm Billy Boudreaux for Cody and Jody, who you guys heard already today. Thank you very much for watching.